What would you do if a stranger looked you in the eyes and said, "Help me," and the person hurting them was twice your size, and you were the only one there? Would you fight to protect a stranger? This is a question you may have to answer someday. Today I'm going to tell you a story where I had to consider that question. Hi everyone, I'm the Old Man Kicking. I've been training in the martial arts for over 30 years. I've competed as a black belt in both Shotokan Karate and Taekwondo, and today I'm going to tell you about a situation in which I had to consider whether or not to use my martial arts skills to defend a stranger. This situation took place over 20 years ago. At the time, I was probably 27 or 28 years old, and I had been training in the martial arts for about 8 or 9 years. I was walking out of a Gold's Gym in Lexington, Kentucky after I finished my workout. It was maybe 8:30 p.m. and it was dark outside. There was a man and woman walking together about 15 feet in front of me in the parking lot. They looked like they were maybe in their mid-20s, and they were talking. I wasn't paying much attention to them until the woman said something to the man, and he turned and pushed her. He didn't push her that hard, but she stumbled to the side. She saw me walking behind them. She made eye contact with me and said, "Help me." I stopped and looked at the man. He was enormous. He was probably 4 or 5 inches taller than me, probably 50 pounds heavier and jacked. He looked like he lived at the gym and ate the 45-pound plates for snacks. Both the man and the woman were now looking at me, and I needed to decide what to do. Before I tell you what I did, I want you to tell me in the comments what you would do in this situation. Would you intervene in this situation? Would you engage and potentially fight to protect a stranger against someone who appears to be a very dangerous opponent? Would you risk your well-being and potentially your life in this situation? I remember being afraid. I remember doubting whether I could actually protect the woman against this monster of a man. I wondered what would happen to me if I tried. Even more than 20 years later, I remember this dilemma vividly. I remember thinking about what could happen to me and to her if I tried to protect her and failed. I remember thinking about how I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I did not try to protect her and something bad happened to her. I decided in that moment that I would have to try. I balanced my weight into a loose but subtle fighting stance, and I looked into the man's eyes. He held my eye contact. I then looked at her and asked in a very serious voice, "Do you really need my help?" I just wanted to confirm before I engaged that she needed my protection. If she confirmed that she did, then I would do what I felt I needed to do. Instead, she laughed. She looked at the man who started to laugh too, and she said, "Nah, we're just playing." And then they both walked off happily together. I still think about that situation, and if we have responsibility to protect other people, if that need ever arises. Situations like this are complicated, and it's probably impossible to truly imagine what factors that situation would be and how we would respond. But in that moment, I was ready to engage even though I had no idea what the outcome or consequences of that encounter would be. As martial artists, I think sometimes we need to consider the martial aspect of our training. It's not dance. At some level, we are training to fight. And I think sometimes we need to think about what we are willing to fight for. That night, I didn't throw a single punch, but I did make a decision about the kind of person I wanted to be. Martial arts aren't just about techniques, belts, or trophies. At its core, it's about our character. It's about our courage. It's about deciding what we stand for before the moment comes. Because when it does, you won't have time to think. You'll only have time to act. You may never face a situation like this, and I hope that you don't. But if you do, the question won't be how strong you are. It'll be about who you are. And that might be the most important thing we train for. In the comments, I'd love to hear how you would handle the situation and what you are willing to fight for. Also, let me know what other videos you'd like me to make. Make sure to hit subscribe, kick that like button, check out my other videos, and keep kicking.